I want to ask Greg.
Oh, you had a question for Greg.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I thought you wanted to speak.
You're talking about everybody getting along here and everybody giving everybody a chance and everybody being fair on all this and getting along. But when my wife was voted on y'all's board, I know for a fact that you went and talked to somebody and said that she come in to disrupt the meeting and she tried to do this. You never gave her a chance. She had never been in a meeting before. And nobody told her how to do that.
That wasn't the
reason. Hold on. No. She got up and walked out. Didn't realize she wasn't supposed to do that stuff. But yet, y'all's opinion of it was that she was trying to be disruptive and she was trying to cause problems.
Besides being disruptive, yes, that did happen. But besides that, that wasn't the argument. The argument was that she wasn't living in the proper.
Well, we understand that. We understand that. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you going to Roy and telling Roy that that she was being disruptive and all that.
Well, when you take the person who came in out of the room when we're trying to have a meeting and disrupt
no, he went out of the room on his own, and then she followed him out.
But now, it doesn't matter.
But here's the problem. The problem was you were the chairman of the meeting. Why didn't you say, Angela, that's not allowed to do that? She didn't know. That's her first meeting.
Why didn't you discuss it with me? Give me a chance.
Why
You're saying give us a chance. Everybody get along.
Well, it's kind of hard when you already come in here and you're sitting here preaching to the choir and you didn't give her a chance.
Well,
it's not my position to give her a chance.
No, it's not.
They appoint her.
That's the
not
thing, but like I said, you don't understand what I'm saying. You're not that,
no, I don't
understand. You know what I'm saying.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying
nothing
you
against
should
her.
have talked to her, gave her an opportunity, a chance. Whether she was right or not, she resigned and came off the board. But my point was, you didn't give her a chance, so how do you expect to tell them to give them a chance?
It doesn't even make sense, but.
Okay.
I don't you, because evidently you're doing something.
Okay, we're going to go to Jack Morton.
I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak. You know, we had discussed the 2020 thing about being assigned to people, and at the last meeting that I attended, after the meeting was over, I did come to Angie and I said, I look forward to meeting with you. We'll go to lunch, we'll discuss what I have learned in the year that we worked on the 2020 committee. And you said, we will have to do it after Labor Day. And I understood, I understand your business. Well, this is now October, and you were talking about communication. I don't understand what the reason is why you don't want to at least talk, because the last thing that I said to you is it doesn't matter to me if you do or do not want a DDA, that perhaps some of the conversation could bring out something that could enlighten and help move things forward. So my goal was just to be able to get people together to try and move things forward. And it really is disheartening because I really wanted the opportunity to be able to talk. And so I asked for copies of everything from meetings, emails, and everything concerning DDA. And I got them. And I was really disappointed because I thank you for taking the time. Who else has worked with any of the people that they were asked to be assigned to? Can you tell me?
I think at least one of them has said they need a phone number for their person because they were very interested in doing it. And I think another one may make a contact with his person after this meeting. But, you know, so I think a couple of them have been very interested in
Well, I appreciate all that you guys have to do. I know it's not easy. I know you can't satisfy everyone, but when I read these emails, I have 45 pages from you to the attorney, and I feel like I wasted a year because there was never an intention of talking. You talk about the charter, and I quote, okay? However, someone failed to let you know that the 2020 committee has already presented their findings to the council at 2 different council meetings. The council has taken no action on anything regarding the 2020 committee finding. Obviously, since the council has taken no action on the findings, it could mean that the council, this says, does intend to take any action. I believe it's supposed to say does not intend because it goes further to say If the council needs to vote as to whether they want to continue any discussion on the 2020 findings, we can certainly do so. But as I stated, we have heard the sales pitch over and over. And it should be clear that if the council agreed, they would have already taken action. That plainly says to me that you have no intentions of even looking at it. Why? I don't understand. I mean, you keep saying it's an arm of government, and you keep saying about the charter. Well, according to the email that was sent, it says the charter that states section 3.14, which you have right there, all committee and committee chairman and officers of the city council shall be appointed by the mayor and shall serve at the pleasure of the mayor. The mayor shall have the power to appoint new members to any committee at any time. You're saying, of city council, I understand, but you're saying that it's a private citizen in some of these emails, that they're private citizens, and you can't do that. We're not private citizens, we're on a committee. We are a formed committee that you guys paid $4,000. That was just a drop in the bucket to get all this information. It all ties together with everything that you've been presented this evening. It disheartens me that the divide between this council and the mayor is constant. And I just suggest that anybody that wants to read these do, because one of the things that really bothers me is this statement. As I have stated before, it is no secret that the administration is divided into two sides, both have different agendas. So to cut through the chase, I guess the mayor and Rhonda are going to have to deal with it, regardless of either of their statements or whining about the three of our relationships and communications. It's not going to change a thing. We have all three become very close friends. I have the utmost respect for Rodney and Bruce, and they truly have the city's best interests at heart. I do believe that. I do believe that. But, and as far as the political side of, is there always two sides and both have their own agenda? As we all know, just as it is in the White House, you have the Democrats and the Republicans. You also have the split council, split commissioners. This is called politics. What kind of work is that being done? What are we getting done? What have you accomplished in, number one, not even attempting to communicate? I reached out and I said I would be happy to meet with you.
And if you called me, I would have met with you. Have you called me?
Does the phone work both ways? You told me you would not be available till after Labor Day.
Right.
I respect that. I said, all you have to do is let me know when you want to meet, we'll go to lunch.
But this is not my agenda, so.
Exactly the point.
Okay.
Exactly my point.
It's not.
And it
I
never
mean, I'm
has
not making
been.
a secret. I'm
It's
not part of the
very-
Downtown Development Authority. It's another branch of government. The city can't afford.
Then
to
why
pay
did you
director.
waste my time for
I
1
didn't
year
waste
and
your
allow
time.
us? You
I-
certainly have.
Oh, no, sir, I
Yes,
did
you
not.
have, ma'am.
No.
Yes, you have, because I came and I gave my time for a year. And
That
I
was your
came,
decision.
yes, it
I
sure
had
was.
nothing to
And
do
I
with
learned a
that.
lot, and you should too.
Oh,
You
I'm
certainly
the
should.
planning.
You tell the people what the charter says. You have all this stuff about the charter. Why don't you tell them what the charter says that, you know, you do not have to serve or be on a committee with someone that's been assigned to you.
That's what it says.
Where? Read it.
And
Read
what-
what the charter says
Yeah.
on section 3.
3.14.
It just simply states that the mayor can appoint committees of council members to serve at her pleasure.
To who? Who's she going to appoint them to? Other council members?
Yes, and I mean, and if you want to talk to the attorney and get him to explain it, you know, yes, I mean,
He
she can
very well,
appoint
you know,
all 5
Angie, he
council
very
members
well
too.
explained in here. He was very specific in the fact that he thought that the council and the mayor are working together with the 2020 group. It's in the email that you
That's not even
received.
the issue. The issue is,
It
does she
is
have
the
authority to appoint council members to a committee?
Yes,
of
she
entities?
does.
No, she doesn't. You didn't get your last email then.
I've got them all 45 pages that I'm sure
No, I
were
don't
not
think you do, because right
inexpensive.
here it states otherwise.
Actually, Angie, I talked to him after that email.
Well,
And he
so
said
can you change something different than what they
he
know?
said it's such a gray area and that truly,
And the gray area is that the appeals court right now says on gray areas, it defaults back to the council's decision then.
actually would default
And
back
if
to
you
a
wanted
judge.
It would default back to the council. And then if you wanted to debate that, then you could go to the Supreme Court.
My whole point is, why should we even have to? Why don't we embrace it and do it? Why do we have to be
Thank
told in
you.
the charter?
Thank you.
Why can't we just do the work that we need to do?
Then the best step then would be for the council to decide, do we want to move forward with the DDA or not?
It's not the DDA, it's
That's
an
not the
entire,
question.
there's so
There's so
many
much
issues,
more to it.
parking, DDA, gateways to the community, it's all about.
I don't want
it's
to
not
take
just DDA.
anything from
That's
Rhonda or
what
Jack or
this is
anything, but the thing
These
is,
all these
it is
things
just
is-
questioning, let's just listen a second.
It's DDA.
It's
That's
questioning
all
my
about it.
authority. You don't like it, that's the fight, and I'm not willing
You
to do
don't
that
have
fight.
the authority outside of day-to-day operations.
That,
And appoint a council member
excuse
to
me,
the
I can appoint council members to committees, so all the council
Right,
members,
council
okay,
members.
okay, that's what you're saying, but it can be, anyway.
That's what it is.
You're assigned to a committee, say you don't have anyone to help you from the 2020 group. We spent $4,000 of taxpayer money that those taxpayers would like to see us do something. They'd like to see a parking deck, a parking solution, they'd like to.
Okay,
they'd
well,
like-
we're back to,
Wait, just let me finish.
Where do we
Okay?
get money for it?
Well,
What about the money that was spent
here's the
doing all of
thing.
these?
We have committees,
Well,
either,
because we got a mayor that can't read, obviously.
that's not the first slam, so I'm okay. I know how to read, so we're good.
They called him, and he sent an email out.
And excuse me, I'm still trying to finish saying what I say, but you keep interrupting me. If you don't want to do it, I'm not going to tie anyone to a chair and say, you're going to do your committee. The ones that want to do it,
Yeah, whoever
do
wants to
it.
work with me,
If
let
you
me know.
don't,
I'm
then
available. If you
don't
don't
do
want
it.
to work, then don't do
I've
it.
already taken on part of the tax because
Obviously.
you told us in the last meeting you didn't want to do it. I've already got gateways working. Talked to Emily Dunn. I've given her some of the information from the 2020. She said, I love this. You know, she's helping me with the overpass issue. She's already contacted somebody with GDOT to see if we can get permission. You know, so you don't have to do it, Angie. Nobody's forced you to do it. It was a recommendation. It was an appointment by the mayor. And if you don't want to take appointments, I'll remember not to appoint you to anything.
And I would appreciate the future knowing ahead of time so I don't waste my time.
Mayor Wagner, could I be so presumptuous to ask if we could go around
Wasted your time.
the council and ask
Really
each
don't
person if
think-
they're willing
No,
to?
I'm sorry,
I'm willing to,
I'm not.
but I would love to get the comments from the other people if they're willing to. We know Ms. Arp is not willing to work with them, but I would love to hear if the other council members are willing to. If not, I'll do it all. But, you know, I'd
Well,
love
it
for you
saves
guys to.
everybody
I've
time.
not said that I wouldn't work with anybody. This is an issue of.
You said it was a
of-
done
of-
deal right here in your email.
I said that council has taken no action, so
Which
all of
means
this.
the council has taken no action, which means obviously that they don't intend to
And I also
do
said
it.
if the council wants to take, when this needs to come to vote, we can certainly do that. I mean, that's really probably what needs to be done.
Well, I don't actually think, unless you want to amend an agenda and you want to take a vote, I guess it's just, you know, if council members want to do it, we need to know who wants to move forward so we don't waste the time of all these individuals here. Or you just say, hey, I'm out of it, I don't want any part of it. I mean,
this
make
right
it
here-
real simple.
This entire presentation was a great thing.
So is the
This
2020s.
was brought to us. 2020 is a totally different thing.
No, it isn't. No,
It's part of this. It's exactly the same thing with gateways.
Who's gonna pay for the director, who's gonna fund the decisions that the DDA makes? Who's gonna fund it? I've asked it.
Did
You
you
do
not
that
hear
through
about where the funding
bonds.
can come
You
from?
do
Did you
that.
miss that just earlier about all the funding that's
It's not the
available?
city that funds it, it's you
Well,
bond
then,
it.
you know what we're talking, I guess we need to get the city attorney here because he tells me something totally different.
Jack, may I say something?
Please.
We had a meeting here about 60 to 90 days ago, and there were two attorneys
Yes.
that offered free advice at any time we needed a consultation, and they have been successful with the DDA, is that correct?
That is correct.
The mayor from that city showed up in this city out of courtesy to tell us that the DDA was very successful, and they had implemented it, and you have 2 legal counsel attorneys that offered their free advice and free time, and nobody has contacted them as of, that I know at this point. But they're successful.
As of Friday at 4:30, they've only met at Angelina's place that I'm aware of. Is that correct, Angelina? I think you and Anthony have talked to them, and maybe Angie and Michael showed up. They, you didn't talk with Mr. Calhoun? He said he went by the fudge shop.
If he went to fudge shop, that's because he's talking to me about this.
But now I had dinner with him Friday night at Black Sheep, as a matter of fact. We were there for 4 hours. I think
And he met with us for 2?
he told me that you.
No, he met with me at his house site Friday.
But I mean, he talked to you about the way the downtown, the 2020 committee. I mean, he said that he had conversations with
Oh,
you.
man,
Maybe-
me and him talked about it,
Yeah, I mean, so Anthony's taking the time to ask him. So yeah, there's one person,
They have
right?
great success stories. Is
There's
that
lots of great,
correct, Donna?
and not only are you looking at the DDA, but the biggest thing was, this is a GMA project, which means Georgia Municipal Association, and I know that a lot of people don't really understand how important they are to us, but they handle our insurance. They do a lot of things for us. I was really impressed at a lot of the services they offer. But one of the pieces of legislation that they tried to pass was the Georgia Downtown Renaissance Act, which gives you guys tax breaks, tax credits. It helps you borrow money at Georgia Cities and Georgia First, which, you know, if all of you guys don't owe any money, pat yourself on the back. But if you owe money, you might need some of those low interest loans. But, you know, there's more to it than just what little bit that committee got to do. There's a bigger piece of the pie that helps business owners and helps cities. Well, you know, we've got to get on board. We've got to figure out what's going on legislatively that we can take advantage of that helps these small towns, and that was one piece of it. GMA, if this council is out of here, my fear is the next council will come in and say, we want to do that study with GMA because we want to take advantage, because the Renaissance Act, they're going to keep adding perks for businesses. You know, they've started, and they'll keep pushing pieces of legislature through. The next group comes in and does this study. It's $40,000 to $50,000, if not more.
Which council member was assigned I know you assigned the 6 different
It's
things.
Rodney, because Rodney did express interest in learning more about the
Have you-
DDA.
Have you made,
I've been checking into the DDA.
He's been wanting to go to a class, I think.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't called Steve, and I want to get all my facts straight before I go to Steve, because, I mean, you know, it's human nature. If you want
Yeah.
something that you're gonna say, hey, this is the best part of it, don't tell you the bad part.
Thanks, Rodney,
And
for doing
and I'm
that.
not saying
Well-
that Steve would do that, but you gotta get the information before.
GMA offered to do a DDA class in Blue Ridge.
And Rodney, if you choose to do like I'm going to do and follow my assignment, I wish you would contact the attorneys that Brenda mentioned. That would be a good start too, if you choose to do
And I
that.
don't think they have any ill intent. Do you get that, Anthony? I think they really, truly want to help our city without costing us a lot of money.
Who's that?
Mr. Calhoun and Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very nice man. I mean, and he's
Very
smart. He's
knowledgeable.
smart, but he's dealt with that where he lives, you know, and his situation, you know, and it's basically controlled by the people that's on the DDA, you know. So every town's gonna be different, of course, you know, there's.
They have meetings and they have a board. and
Right, they do what they talk
And
about.
they
You got
roll
so
off.
many, you know, they talk about maybe some council, some business owners, some different things, you know.
But I think he's very genuine in his
Let me ask
offer.
you, does that, what you're talking about, the GMA, do you have to have a DDA to get that help from them?
The reason they did this for us was we were kind of like a pilot,
But
because
I mean, do you have to have a DDA established to get those loans, get that from them?
they're moving toward that. And,
Yes.
and
But right now.
and you
it's
may
not
be
on-
helping on one of those, that Georgia First loan. Are you helping with that, Lynn?
The city of Blue Ridge right now has 2 projects and one possibly underway that was funded by the Georgia Cities Foundation, because at that point in time, the city of Blue Ridge did not have a DDA. And at that point in time, the law allowed them to work through the county's development authority. So Hampton Square and Oysters are 2 projects that you've got.
Where's it now?
Yes,
And we have
they're
a new
working,
one.
that they're working on, it's not yet fully funded, but the other 2 are fully funded. And they employ people, and they bring in tourist dollars, and they pay sales tax dollars, and they're vital, active, vibrant parts of our community. And, you're not gonna find two finer attorneys than, Mr. Cal.